Medical school can be quite long and tedious, right? Especially since it's 6 years. So I'm gonna give you advice on how you can avoid burnout in medical school. Anyways, let's get into the video. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's DALTZCB. Who else could it be? For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dalton. I'm currently a third year medical student integrating in psychology at the University College London. And today we're going to be talking about how to avoid burnout in medical school. Let's get into it. Now guys, I want to share with you my personal experience of burnout from last year. Last year I was so close to taking a year out because there was just so much going on. Like, second year is arguably the most difficult year in medical school, and I was going through a personal issue at the time. And having all of that at once, like, I felt like I was definitely going to fail med school. But burnout is such a tricky topic because you never realize when it actually happens. There's this cycle of motivation. Like when you first start work, you're really motivated. You're like, I'm going to do this amount of work on this day, I'm going to do this amount of work on the next day. But then eventually it comes to a point where you're like, it's tiring, right? And then one relaxation day becomes another one, and it gets so long. And honestly, had I not applied these fundamentals throughout the academic year, I probably would have failed med school. These are the rules you have to follow to avoid burnout in medical school. 1, if you're feeling down at any point, you do not force yourself to do work. There's extenuating circumstances you can apply to. There's so many options available. Although I wouldn't necessarily recommend therapy because the waiting times are astronomically long. Mental health always comes first. I know that seems obvious to say, but most people forget it. They put the academics above the mental health, but mental health always comes first. On to the next point. Start work from day one. Here's the reason why. Medical school is not a sprint, it's a marathon. The content can be so overwhelming that cramming wouldn't even work. If you manage to cram in the past for A-levels and GCSEs, if you're in med school, get real, you're not gonna be able to cram. Get real, like, what do you think this is? Wait, hold on, look at me. Are you a Muppet? No, hold on, look at me. Are you a Muppet? Listen, med school don't work like that. There's too much content, okay? Med school is tough. On to the next point. Guys, don't cram. Doing little every day is much better as opposed to doing a lot a few weeks before the exam. Now think about this. Imagine you're putting in 2 hours every day. Over 365 days, well, consider an academic year. Over 280 days, that makes 560 hours that you put in. Now let's look at a couple weeks before the exam. Let's say 4 weeks, you're putting in 8 hours max. 8 times 7, 56. Times that by 4, 224 hours that you're putting in weeks before the exam. Not only is that an immense amount of pressure you're putting on yourself, you're not even getting enough hours in. If you put consistent work throughout the year, this leaves you some flexibility for any unexpected circumstances. And putting so much pressure on yourself under a short amount of time can be daunting to your mental health. And applying this principle saved me from failing second year. Next tip, don't overwork yourself. Listen, I get it's a degree, but you can't come and die. When you're in med school, there'll always be things to do. Always. Like, you can never say you're bored. Listen, when I see people on Twitter saying, oh, I'm so bored, what shows do I watch next? I envy them, you know, like how? I actually envy them. Like, why is there so much pressure? Like, I'm only 20 years old and like, I have to get this done, that done, put in 6 to 8 hours of work. Like, it's just, what did I sign up for? Like what did I sign up for? How can you say I'm bored? What TV shows do I watch? Nah, I'm sorry. Now on to the next point, guys. Having an organizer is so important. This allows you to plan your day as opposed to having a spontaneous day where you end up procrastinating. Guys, I know we're both guilty of procrastinating. Like, look at me right now. I can't lie, there's something about the academic urge to procrastinate when you know you should be doing work. And sometimes you may set yourself overwhelming targets, and that's fine. Like, sometimes I say I'll get 8 things done, and realistically I only get 1 thing done. I do know that happens, but it is what it is. On to the next point. Ask your peers for advice. Ask your peers for help or revision. Guys, when you're in med school, you'll realize that a lot of people work differently, and you'll also realize that your method of learning may not be the best And it may be hard to come to terms with, but it's better to address it early as opposed to realizing when it's too late. And there are a lot of friends, there are a lot of peers, a lot of classmates who can help you with that. The entry requirements aren't like that for banter. It's meant to be tough. So if you're feeling like you're getting overwhelmed by work, swallow that damn pride and ask for help, okay? And this brings us on to our last point and arguably the most important point. It's okay to have a lazy day. I know as academics we all feel the guilt of not doing work at times, but it's absolutely okay to have a lazy day. Especially if you've worked hard for it. Like, work smart, not hard. Anyways guys, thank you for watching. Please make sure you like, comment and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the video. Also check out my other videos which you'll see here. And please check out my socials which are linked in the description. It's DALTZCB, who else could it be?